Hello everybody, and welcome to a 20 to 30 minute live test of the 1440p upgrade to Twitch and YouTube. Now, if the settings are done properly, which I just recently discovered that actually Twitch allows people to now stream in 1440p, and this was as of like around 2025 was the beta, and now in 2026 it's actually possible for people to multi-transcode from 1440p to 1080p, 720p, and so on and so forth all the way down using enhanced broadcasting. Now, because my internet speed is actually substantially stronger than in the past, it actually may actually function just fine. I did a little bit of like a beta test behind the scenes using the bandwidth. It's like a bandwidth test. It basically kind of puts me live, but I'm not really live. And now, this time officially, I'm actually live right now. And this may or may not, go really well. And I think for the most part, it looks like it is. So I'm going to keep my settings up. It looks like I am using about 20,000 kbps, which is incredibly good because that means that is exactly what I wanted. The only thing I do need is the stats. So I'm going to pull up the stats and we're going to test out how it functions with 1440p, making sure that I don't have anything like dropped frames or any of that stuff, any kind of audio cutouts. I'm actually going to be in and out testing this to make sure that it looks and sounds really good, because if it is successful, this will actually make it so that I can actually, okay, make it show once again. Yeah, shut up. But as I was saying, if this is successful, which I hope it actually is, I'm going to be able to stream in 1440p, and I'm actually going to check the quality right now, and it looks like it actually is. There is 1440p, 1080p, 720p, 360p, and it's all here on Twitch, and it's really amazing to know that I'll be able to do this, because this will be a substantial upgrade to practically everything that I've been doing for Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So not only is it that you guys will be able to view me on Twitch, in a much higher quality rather than always having to revert to YouTube, but at the same time, it's like, it's just going to be great. So when I'm on live, you guys can interact with me while I'm on Twitch and still view it in a much higher quality. Compared to before, it's actually double the quality. And when you guys review the videos back in YouTube, or even if you're watching me live on YouTube, at least the quality is going to also be 1440p. I'm not going to really push myself too far into playing this game. I'm just merely testing to make sure I'm not having any dropped frames, I'm not having any lagging, and that's like the most primary important part of this whole entire video. And I really hope that it functions really well, because like I said, this is going to be a great opportunity for us to really find out if my PC is capable of doing a high quality stream. And what better game to pick than to pick Inotria, a high FPS game. And this is going to be a great opportunity for us for the next 20-30 minutes. Make sure the quality is great on Twitch, great on YouTube, and my PC handles it. And so we're going to start the timer right now. It is 4 minutes into the video, technically about 5 minutes, so we'll play about 15 minutes, and it should give me a very good idea of whether or not this is going to go well. I hope it really does, because like I said, this will be a massive upgrade, and this will also be a very great opportunity for me to actually talk about what I've done with 10 hours to 12 hours behind the scenes with the Notria preparing for its final video. But this is not the final video. This is a test to make sure that the upgrades to the quality of Twitch is going to go well. And I will explain like what I've done 10-12 hours behind the scenes with the Notria and why it's such a major important thing for me to do pre-stream. So I actually spent an incredible amount of time actually messing around with some of the weapons in the game. And I actually maximized every single weapon I even had. There's 106 weapons in Enotria, and I probably maximized about well over 70, maybe 80 weapons total. And I included even all of the mask lines, these abilities, and I tested every single one. I tested all the weapons of every element against different types of enemies, such as like advantage elements, disadvantage elements, even non-elementals such as big creatures like this. And it just happens that I actually managed to figure out that a lot of the information that you find about Enotria's weaponry, like they say, like the Emerald Maiden's poison weapon was one of the best poison weapons in the game. It's partially true, but it is not the best weapon. It's actually like about the third best weapon. I actually found out later that this weapon right here, let me see if I can find it. This weapon right here is actually insanely powerful. Let me find it. It is this one. This is the most powerful poison weapon in the game. In fact, I actually found it to be so goddamn powerful that I just could not turn away from it. There's actually another one that I have, and I'll show you guys. But first, I'm going to show you some abilities that I've been working on. But as you can see, I'm not even using a heavy weapon against these guys, and I'm just taking them down. I actually found out also that the Vs weapon right here, this one right here, this mallet, actually is so much stronger than practically every weapon in the game. Like, when I compared it to even the one that was given misinformation on the internet of being claimed to be the strongest Vs weapon is actually this Bastion of Wrath. It's really not. It's actually not that much more powerful. In fact, this mallet was just so much stronger, and I could not possibly like tell you how right I was in the beginning of the part 1 video about this weapon. It really is just that much stronger than practically everything else. So I'll show you something real quick. So we're going to take a look at some of the weapons while I'm doing this live test. So any weapon that I have at a +9 is... I've tested all these weapons. Remember, I tested all of them from all the way +9 on every single one of them. I tested like the Great Sword versus like the Pole Arm versus the Morning Stars versus the Long Swords, everything. And the ones that I have at +9 actually ended up being the weapons that were substantially stronger than any other weapon that is not marked right now. And so when it came to fire weapons, I absolutely agree with the internet. When it comes to the Funeral Flameberg, it is absolutely destructive. But the Mausoleum Protector Colossal Hammer for the fire element is actually the strongest hammer that I've seen in the game, compared to even the Knight's Monolith, even compared to the massive Duciana. And this saber right here from the fire element is so amazing because it's just so fast. And it deals so much damage. Like, I could not tell you like how much I was so happy about using this weapon. And if you didn't like using a saber, but perhaps you wanted to use something else, you could actually use this long sword called the Sword of the Ancestors. It was actually really powerful, and it's really fast, just like the other weapon that I just showed you. And I just absolutely fell in love with it. The damage was much higher than all the other swords, and I couldn't turn my eye away from it. So now that we've gotten that one out of the way, we're going to show you the V's weapons. So the V's weapons, let's take a look at the V's weapons. I'll even show you as an example why I chose these V's weapons. So V's, on the other hand, I actually found that this Keeper of the Canals is like probably the strongest V's weapon for the fast version. Like, it does so much damage that it's probably almost comparably as strong as the hammer, but swinging it fast. And that's why I like this weapon. I'm going to show you, like, as an example of the damage that it does against a giant like this. So you probably are thinking, oh, well, it's not doing that much, but that's because I am fighting a giant. You got to remember that. And as for like any of the abilities, I found that this one right here with the 3 arrows, so powerful. It drops an enemy like so fast. It's ridiculous, you know? And just the same thing, even if I wanted to use a poison element ability, I actually found that this one right here, so let me see if I can find it. So out of all of the poison elements mask lines, I really liked this one right here. So I'm going to show you all the good ones. Okay, so we're going to go to the loadouts, and I'm going to go to the left side. So when it comes to all of the Milanos, this one right here, anything with the +2, as something that I found to be really good. It's very fast. It deals insane damage. Pretty much a one-shot kill almost on all the enemies that is not a tanky kind of enemy. Like if it's just like a regular enemy, it pretty much one-shots them. Same thing with the Plague Conquest. I really loved this one. It's really good at like cutting through multiple enemies, and that's why I am using it currently right now. And then the Venomous Thorns, this one is like shooting a bow, multiple arrows, and it just deals insane damage, enough to put down an enemy from far away distance. So I like to have all 3 of these for different situations. When it comes to the Gratia abilities, I tested all of them, and I found that anything that has a +2 or +3 happens to be the best ones. Everything else either fell very short on damage, or otherwise they were just absolute garbage. This one right here, very great. I like it. The Astral Rain, I really like this one, but it's a little slow, but it's insanely powerful. The Astral Rain does incredible job. Same thing with the Astral Blaze. I absolutely love this one. Cannot turn my eye away from it. The Celestial Breath will put down a giant like pretty much like from full bar health all the way down to almost nothing in a single breath, and I think it could be a potential boss killer. I do really love the Grit of the Hunt because I can pretty much, like I said, put down a giant. Like you guys saw, I shot that bow and I put that giant down to the ground. It really is such an amazing ability, is the Grit of the Hunt. The Meteoric Impact, I like this ability. It's slow. It hits with a massive hammer. You know, and it can wipe out pretty much like anything. One swing, it's gone, you know. I really like this ability. It's just slow. As for the V's abilities, Deadly Wave, I really love this one. It slams into the ground, and it's an AoE ability. Pretty much can eradicate anything that is in front of you. Same thing with the Deadly Breath. Very amazing. I do love the Wrathful Charge. It's good against like mostly, you know, one-on-one enemies, but as for fighting up against a boss, if it's a giant boss, I wouldn't really recommend using this. I would highly recommend using this only against like enemies of equivalent size, like a human being. As for Deadly Conquest, if I remember this one, it just basically throws like a blade in front of you, and it cuts through everything just like the poison one. It was really good. I really liked it. Deadly Ray, it's insanely slow to get this ability to activate, but it shoots a light, like a beam in front of you, and it just, I think this ability right here could potentially take down a boss if you get even 2 of those shots in, because it just does so much damage. It could practically wipe out a giant. It could wipe out like a miniature boss. I mean, this is a seriously deadly ability. And if you can manage to just get in front of a boss, shoot it once, and have a steady beam without the enemy moving, you could practically wipe them out, you know? As for the fire-based abilities, when it comes to Fachuo, I do really love Funeral Blaze. I'm not gonna lie, this thing, when you slam into the ground, just eradicates everything. Same thing with the breath. The breath is amazing also. And then we have Manfrina, which is a very fast kind of attack. I do like it. And the same thing with the Furlana. I would highly recommend using both of these abilities when it comes to trying to activate your elements, such as the infusion, because your infusions are quite important when it comes to the elementalist build. And I highly recommend anything that starts with Presto, which is the fastest speed, should be your initial spot for activating your infusion. Anything with a Presto, and then everything else should be like the slower ability, so that way you always have the opportunity with your Presto ability to just infuse your blade. And with your infusion, you could have things such as like increased duration of your weapon infusion, and increased damage of elementals, and the same thing with your mask lines, actually charging up quicker. So you remember how I told you that your initial one that you use to infuse should be Presto? That means that while you're infused, you can actually attack, and the rest of your slower abilities that are stronger but take a longer time to charge can now charge even faster. And this makes a great advantage to get those things like the Deathly Ray out and just wipe out a boss like insanely fast. And I think that all of these 4 types of mask lines were the best ones. You could always review this video if you need to. I didn't really think about actually preparing to do this kind of video, but I figure if I'm going to do this 1440p live test for Twitch and the 1440p live test for YouTube at the same time, it would be a perfect opportunity for me to do that right now. As for the weapons, we're going to review some of the weapons right now. So I really, really love this weapon right here. It is a, I think this is a light-based element weapon. So let me go take a look at the Gracia. So I really love this scepter. It is probably like comparably as good as the Father support, but the reason I only like the scepter more is because it has the ability to wipe out an entire area just using the R2, and I'll show you as an example the difference between both of these Gracia weapons. So when it comes to the scepter versus the cane, I really like the cane, but it's not really good when it comes to R1. Okay, the fast abilities, it's really not that great. But when it comes to the R1 and the R2, so you see that? You push R1, you push R2, and you get the spin and swing. This thing right here is the combo ability that I would recommend using against these enemies like this. See that? And you just get a nice little swing in, and it can hurt enemies really well. You see that? And then we're going to try this one. So if I push R2, see that? You see that? Oh, that's crazy, isn't it? Do you see the freaking damage that thing does? And it takes a couple seconds, but you can wipe out a whole area just doing this. And this scepter just ridiculously outpowers the other weapons when it comes to Gracia. It's so fast, okay? It's a fast weapon. And the R2 just does that. Look at the radius on that. Did you see how far that went? Look at it. That's crazy. I mean, you surround yourself with enemies, and next thing you know, they're all gone. They're just disappear, bye-bye, you know? And I cannot tell you how happy this weapon makes me. So, another weapon for the Gracia. We're going to take a look at the next Gracia weapon. So, as you guys know, I was using the Blessed Rapier mostly throughout the game. I think it's a great long weapon, although I don't think that the damage compares to the staff that I was just using, which is why I would much rather use the staff. Obviously, if you're going to go up against a big giant like this, I would recommend using the Colossal Hammer. I have found that the Colossal Hammer for Gratia weapons is the best hammer so far, and I just never had any problems with it. But we're just going to make sure I don't get killed in the process, but I'm going to put his ass down with the arrows. See that? Look at that. It's just such great damage. It staggers big bosses, big enemies like this. I love it. And then if you do the breath right here, look at that, look at that, look at that. That's crazy, isn't it? I told you that the breath really, really works. It is just such a great ability. But unfortunately, the breath is actually weakest in the poison one. You figure that the fire breath is doing insane damage, the Gratia breath does insane damage, the Vis breath does insane damage, but for some reason the poison breath doesn't do much damage at all. It was very puzzling to me. But, aside from that, this is great using the breath abilities, definitely great. Let's go take a look at some of these other enemies and see what I can do up against them. And we'll even test out the little, the big old sword that I usually use. I'm getting a little sick and tired of this freaking cannon, like, ruining my moment right now. We'll go back up here. Alright, now let's get rid of you guys. Yep. See how strong this weapon is. See? Not as much damage, right? You see that? Not as much damage. It's okay, but the damage is just not that good. But if I was to use, say, like the hammer, which is almost about as fast as that long sword, it does more damage. I'm not being serious about the situation right now. I'm trying to, show you guys the difference in damage. Now, but when it comes to that Gratia staff, oh my god, that thing is so lovely. Let's go back to that thing. I just really have to put it back on, and I just gotta do it again. Come get it. Look at that. So crazy. This weapon is just ridiculous how strong it is. It is just so fucking crazy how much this does. I could only imagine if I was really, really, building Battle Mage. If I was building Battle Mage, can you imagine what the damage on this thing would be? The only problem is though, when you're using that ability, you're not able to move. That's the only thing that sucks about it. But... alright. Yeah, you can't move when you're using the R2. But aside from that, if you just time it right, like right now... oh, well, never mind. But if you just time it, like right here, you don't have to get so close to them. Just to close enough, because they're gonna walk up to you and you're gonna have an AoE radius. This weapon is so great at clearing crowds. It's such a cheap-ass tactic too, and it's so powerful for being a Gratia weapon. I cannot possibly tell you how happy that weapon makes me. So let's go to the fire weapons, and we'll take a look at our fire weapons. So I like to use... I personally like using the hammer when I need it, but I like the Funeral Flameberg the most. It's definitely like a wide variety usage against like bosses and enemies like giants or regular enemies. But if you're looking for a fast weapon, honestly, either one of these is just fine. They're both almost damn near equivalent in damage, like very, very close in damage. One does more Fatuo and the other does like more status damage, but they pretty much equate almost the same. It really just depends on your fighting style. But like, you know, I'll go give it a try with this weapon. We'll just go, I don't know, find something to kill. Something fast, something easy. And then we'll give it a test for the poison weapons, and I'll show you why the Emerald Maiden is not that good. It was good, but it's not that good anymore. God damn it. See, so fast. So fast. I love it. You cannot argue with this weapon. It's just so great. Anything else? We'll leave them alone. I want to save that for the next video. But let's go to the Milano weapons now. So we've already tested the Vs weapons, or well, I showed you some of the Vs. I'll show you the rest of it later. We've already tested the fire ones. You guys should pretty much be familiar with the Flameberg by now, and the hammer I just showed you on the giants. And then now I just showed you one of the fast swords. You know about the Gracia weapons now. Now we're going to test the Milano weapons. So I'm going to show you the difference between the Emerald Maiden and the one that I think actually completely outclasses, not even think, it actually does outclass, is both the Tyrus Tail, the Tyrus Tail, and the Golden Sting. Both of them are great weapons, but I think that the Golden Sting has a slight advantage on the Tyrus Tail. I'll show you the difference between the damage though. So we're going to go up against any kind of regular enemy. I might actually go, oh yeah, here it is. Okay, see, that one did like about 4 something. See? A pretty great weapon, right? Pretty great weapon. But I'm gonna show you why the other one is better. So let's go and find ourselves a spot where I did test it. That way you guys get a nice idea of what this does. So we're gonna go to a place that I tested all these weapons at. Is at the no, that's not it either. It was the Astronomer's Court. Yeah, I tested all these weapons at the Astronomer's Court. And I'm going to show you why the Emerald Maiden's not that good. Silver Wasp, actually, a lot of people say is better than the Emerald Maiden. That's not true. The Silver Wasp actually does less damage than the Emerald Maiden. And the Emerald Maiden does even less damage than the Tyrus Tail. And then the Tyrus Tail does even less damage than the weapon that I just recommended, was that polearm. So watch this, one swing. 739, right? 739 was the damage with that one swing. Now I'm going to show you what the Tyrus Tail can do as soon as their poison stops. I just want to make sure that they're not going to... Okay, there we go. 950. 950, and not to mention the fact that it attacked twice in the same turn like that. You see that? That's crazy, right? The Tyrus Tail is freaking phenomenal weapon. I absolutely love this thing. But when it comes to this Emerald Maiden, watch. This is a poison enemy, and both of these weapons are poison. I'm going to show you what it does. So watch this. So one swing does 119 damage with the Emerald Maiden. The Tyrus Tail, 357. We're going to try it with 2 swings this time with the Emerald Maiden. 239. 239, 2 swings with the Emerald Maiden, but the Tyrus Tail, 357. It's so much more. It's a substantial more. But the Tyrus Tail does not deal as much damage compared to the other weapon that I really love, is this Golden Sting. This Golden Sting is a powerful weapon. It is so great. Watch this. So it has this spin move, right? See that? You just push R1 and then R2. You just push R1 and R2. Oh shit. I ran out of stamina. But I'm like I said, I'm showing you guys the difference in damage. It's just such a powerful weapon, this thing. Watch this. I'm going to put down this enemy so quick. We're going to go up against this enemy right here. And I'm going to just go R1, R2. Look at that. 4281. Just one combo. R1, R2. That's it. R1, R2. Now let's go test it with a Tyrus tail. And I'm going to show you the difference. They're both insanely great weapons. Absolutely fascinating. And people on the internet are wrong when they say that the Emerald Maiden and the Poison Sting or whatever the hell, the Silver Wasp is supposed to be good. See? You see the difference? It takes me more hits, but the point is that it's such a fast weapon. You can use this in all kinds of ways. You can do that, like that, and that will probably take her out. Let's go try it one more time, but we're going to use the combo this time instead of just pure R1. Okay, so now let's try it with the combo, and I'm going to show you why I like the Tyrus tail as well. Okay, so we're going to do R1 and R2. R1, R2. Look at that. Oh, if she didn't land that hit on me. If she didn't land that hit on me, she would have been dead right there. But you see how strong this weapon is? So great compared to the Emerald Maiden. Both the Tyrus tail and the Golden Sting. Absolutely legendary weapons so far when it comes to poison. So another thing is, when it comes to poison weapons, the curved scalpel. I had a +1 on these for a reason. The curved scalpel is very fast. I mean, this weapon moves like really fast. But if you notice something, the speed of this weapon is almost the exact same as the Emerald Maiden. In fact, it is the Emerald Maiden. So the problem is that it just doesn't deal as much damage as the Emerald Maiden. And if it wasn't for that, I would have probably been using that sword. But the problem is, I have an Emerald Maiden, and it's stronger than the curved scalpel. They both move the exact same, they both attack the exact same, but unfortunate to say, Emerald Maiden wins. So Silver Wasp does less damage than Emerald Maiden. Emerald Maiden does less damage than the Tyrus tail, and the Tyrus tail does less damage than the Golden Sting. And that's because the Golden Sting with the R1, R2 is just so quick, and it will put down an enemy really quick. It'll take out multiple enemies really quick. Tyrus tail, on the other hand, yes, it can take down multiple enemies because of this kick move right here. But the radius of that kick move is just not as wide when it comes to, you know, AoE compared to what could have been that pole arm. And I that's why I like this pole arm. It's just like right here, boom, look at that. Big swing. Let's see. So now that I'm all done pretty much showing you guys that stuff, I'm gonna show you why I like this pole arm so much. This pole arm is a Vs weapon, and I think it's the best Vs weapon practically in the whole game. Compared to even the Cooper's hammer, I'll show you why the exhausting saber is really good, and as well as the other one. So you can see that did about 1100 damage right there, right? So we're going to go back up over here, and I'm just going to get my Harmonious Sap. This is the purpose of having a fast weapon, is like this. Whenever you get damaged like this, you just need to get your HP back. You can attack like this, and your HP will just come back really fast. As for this one though, if I push R1 and R2, you see how much damage that just does? Look at that. Just put his ass down. That's why I like this weapon. And we're gonna go find a couple other enemies, and I'm gonna test it up against them too. Oh yeah, we are so definitely gonna use these weapons in the last video. And so far it looks like as though I've lost almost no frames whatsoever when it comes to streaming 1440p on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, which this is going to be awesome for our future videos. Whew, so much damage. Oh my god. Look at the crazy damage that this does. I mean, it is just such a powerful weapon. And then, you know, using that saber that I like, yeah, it's fast and all, but it doesn't deal as much damage, as you can see. It's mainly for, like, when you really need to get that extra edge of, like, just restoring your HP back really fast. You know, that's why I would use this weapon. But I like that pole arm. So powerful. Yeah, this is okay. It's an okay weapon. But definitely if it's gonna come to the idea of using a fast Vase weapon, so far out of all the fast Vase weapons, the saber wins. Not gonna lie. But when it comes to like a middle weapon, oh, this takes the cake easily. Especially versus the Cooper Hammer. Easily takes the cake. Let's see. So I think I have like one more weapon I was supposed to show you guys. And so we're done with all of the Gracia weapons. Let me just make sure. Yep, I showed you the Scepter. I showed you the Fatherly Support. I'll actually show you why I like the Fatherly Support against a regular enemy. Last time I was testing it up against a giant. This time I'm going to test it up against an enemy like this. See that? So good. So good. Look at this. Look how fast it is. Oh yeah. Let's try, what was it that I was using? What element was it? It was a Gracia weapon, right? Yeah. Now let's try that Scepter. Let's try it not against a giant, but this time against one of these guys. Bam! Oh my god. Look at the crazy damage that does. It's just so powerful, oh my god. Oh, I love this weapon so much. Okay, alright. So yeah, that's pretty much like everything I wanted to show you guys. I mean, I could show you like the, you know, mask lines, but you know, I'll leave that for you guys to figure out little by little. What I wanted to really just show you was the ones that I selected. Anything that has a +2 and a +3 is the ones that I agree is absolutely phenomenal at doing its damage. Like if it comes to Vs ones, it is definitely the ones like Deadly Ray, Deadly Conquest, Wrathful Charge, Deadly Breath, and Deadly Wave. All of them insanely well. When it comes to the Fatual ones, Funeral Blaze, the Breathing Respiro one, Manfrina for Lana, amazing. I would say that the Fatual Ray is probably equivalent to that of the other one that I just showed you, I think it was the Gracia Ray. I mean, I probably just didn't want to test it because it was a lento speed and it would have just taken too long, but I'm pretty sure it's really good. Let's see. As for the ones like, you know, Peroncina, Astral Rain, Astral Blaze, Deadly Wave, Celestial Breath, Grid of the Hunt, and Venomous Saber, all of them are excellent. Let's see. Milano, yeah, all of these ones from Milano are good. Anything that has a +2, +3, very good. Fatuo, I've already showed you. I already showed you that one, and I've already showed you these ones. Okay, yeah, then I think I'm done covering everything. Alright, cool. So now I get to look back. It's been about 39 minutes, so this means that I get to finally test out by looking back at my Twitch video and see how well it's looking. And so far on live on my phone, looking very clear. Very, very clear. I'm actually kind of curious. What does it look like on PC? Let's find out. Well, excuse me. Excuse me. Not very nice of you. I mean, she is a Gracia type, so I might want to switch. So let's go to something else. Let's go to like this polearm. I love this polearm. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I can look at the PC version. Yeah, let me go take a look at the PC. How is it looking? We're looking 1440p. So let's put the cog wheel up. I'll move this over. I'll put this at full screen. I want to see what 1440p look like. So that's 720p. So what's going on with my 1440p? Wow, 1080p looks amazing. Wow, it really does. Compared to the 720p at like full screen, this 1080p is amazing. And it's not even the highest. I'm really curious to know what the 1440p looks like. I guess the 2K source, I can't view it right now. So let me see if full screen with 720. Yeah, 720 has a little bit of blurriness. Okay. But when I go to my monitor and I go 1080p, let's see. Wow, it's clear. It's really, really clear. I want to move around in the game. Let me see what happens when I move around in the game. I just want to see. Go like outside. Wow. Very, very clear. Amazing. Oh, this is such a great thing. This is so I'm really happy about this. I'm really, really, really happy about this. Oh yeah. Okay. I think this is a success. Absolute success. I have a 0% drop rate of frames since this video began. That's very good. My CPU usage is between about 20-23%. That's incredibly good. I've lost no signal. I'm streaming about 21,000 kbps, which is like almost twice as much as before, and it's doing really well. So this is a successful video. Successful. The quality is great. The everything's just good. So good. All right. Well, I think that I can actually stream in peace. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now, okay, because I had to change the canvas, which the canvas is what you see, okay, what you see, and then what I see on my OBS studio. Because of that, you can probably notice how you see how the webcam got bigger. I was using initially a 1920 by 1080p, so a lot of the things that I was making, like the chats and the windows and all that stuff for my webcam, was set to fit specifically for a 1080p canvas, which is what you guys see. Now, because I'm at 1440p, once I changed it, obviously all the sizes of everything kind of changed. So I'm going to have to sit back and kind of fiddle around a little bit. But as long as everything is looking good, let's try the chat. Let's just make sure it's right in place. It looks pretty much right in place. It's exactly like right at the edge where I want it to be. It just seems like the webcam has to be cut off right about here just to match about maybe this, but a little bit wider, because I think I had mine just a slight bit wider than this. But everything else so far looking pretty good in position, so that makes me very happy. Looks very crystal clear. Very crystal clear. Okay, this is a success. I'm really happy about this. This means that all of my future streams on Twitch will no longer be in 720p. It will now be 1080, 1440p, crystal clear. So I really thank you guys for sitting here through this really fun, not so fun moment, but it's fun for me. It's fun for me because I literally only experimented with this for like